things I wanted to put already on the agenda, so when we get to them, we'll discuss them.
Yeah, just to, enhance upon what TJ said, our township engineer, about the discussion that was held this afternoon, considering that the project out on Route 88, told TJ, most of which, what has been done out there, and what's being proposed, is a project that some of you might remember that Mr. Vic Dawsey was pursuing when he owned that property. And as you may also know, Mr. Dawsey became ill. Although he had his planning completed out there for what he wanted to do, he became sick. And before he could get any site preparation underway, he passed away. But I don't know whether any of you heard TJ say he was happy because the traffic study that was discussed today with factors involved was pretty comprehensive. And the door's still open if anybody's interested in providing information to TJ, which he could pass on to the engineers involved with the planners concerning any factors that would be relevant to a traffic study along Route 88. As I said, the ladies and gentlemen who participated were very concerned about doing an appropriate traffic study out there, which was good to hear. That's all.
Okay. So I had a question for TJ.
Sure.
So I had a resident come, dealing with Railroad Street and some, barriers that are on there.
Okay.
And they had a concern that, one of the barriers the township put on the road is starting to come off the side of the road,
Okay.
which is gonna go into the railway.
Okay.
So on my way to the meeting today, I drove by and it does look like one may be, I'm worried about a train derailment like East Palestine. But there is one teetering there on the, so while you're in the township doing, I'm not an engineer, maybe it looks worse to me than it actually is, but it is concerning.
Sure.
I don't know if the board may wanna look at how we can fix that road, because it is still sliding. I mean, there's some barriers so that people don't fall off the side when they pull their cars out of their driveways, but it's not a fix.
Is it within our right of way, do you know?
Right down here in Gaston along Railroad Street.
So it's a lane that runs along the railroad tracks and then there's driveways. One of their complaints is because of these barriers, they can't get out of their driveways. The other complaint is apparently there was a, emergency vehicle that had trouble there.
A fire truck cannot get out.
Yeah, well, they couldn't get out, they couldn't get out.
So who put the barriers up?
The township did.
We did, why did we?
Oh, Albert seems to know.
A few years ago, the dude when I guess they're called Cardinal Express over the railroad, they went by their right of ways, just cleaned all the right of ways from wherever to wherever. And where those barriers are at right now are actually on railroad property. You have
So
to
we
go
could be
to the,
damaging railroad property.
there's a big problem there.
Why don't we do this, why don't we check it out? I need to know more about it, but there
Yeah,
could be
I mean-
issues.
We'll have to go check around them.
I have the old paperwork.
Well, we're just saying that maybe something the board members
Mhm.
and you may wanna look at. I don't have any real details about it.
Okay.
Other than, there's some concerns of the people that live on the street about emergency vehicles. There's concern about the weight of these things on the edge are now starting to. And and the other concern is the right of way for the
Yeah.
railroad.
See, that could be an issue with the railroad.
That's my question, is it within our right of ways?
Or if it's
within
in
the
their
right
right of way, then you have
right-of-way?
another
Do
issue.
we have any ability to go in there and actually do anything?
Yeah.
We need to take a look.
Well, we could do is, we'll go down with the road department, go have a look at it, that way we'll know where the lines are and everything, he knows where they're at. And
But
that way
there's
we'll
some
see what's
erosion
right.
happening underneath
Right.
them.
Albert, that was there was a dispute between the township and the railroad
2016,
as to whose property it was.
2016.
How long ago has that been now?
2016.
Was that after I left or what?
Yeah,
So was there a lawsuit or something, or what?
no, it was just a problematic problem between the township, where their right of way was at, and the railroads.
So what happened? I mean, what was the
Apparently
resolution?
the railroad won. You have to go, if you're looking from Finley El Raymond into Railroad Street, you gotta go to the right, and go to the right, there's a lot of things
Okay.
gotta be done, like, there's, we need to coordinate, and look.
God bless you. I think the best thing to do is TJ look with Albert and Steve and see what's going on.
My concern was if this barrier did fall down into the right of way.
No,
And I have a-
we'll look at that
All right,
barrier tomorrow to see how.
Okay.
it is.
all right.
One of the other things, just today I was talking to Chief Harris. The township has a laptop out in the wind. So it is powered on somewhere. It is a township laptop. We are looking into whether or not it's being accessed, if it's who's accessing it, and where we wanna go from there. So, in putting in the new employees into our service, we have a certain number of, employees that are covered, and after that, we pay extra. So, and there's a certain number of computers that they monitor, and then we pay extra. So, we were going through each computer. There is a laptop missing. It is powered on, it is accessing internet. What they're doing on it, I don't know if they're doing anything, but, Advent's looking into it, and we may have to make a decision on whether we write it off, that it's a write-off of a computer, or whether or not it is accessing in township information. So when we get the report on that, the chief is aware, and he has talked to Advent to try to, so it was a laptop that was codified as secretary, but the access has been to an L. Roach, which is a Linda Roach, that worked here probably, 2 years ago, from a temp agency, and then was a zoning personnel. So that is, being powered on, and we can't,
Government property.
it is, the issue is,
But we don't know who has the computer.
we don't know who has it. We just can't spend $10,000 trying to find a $200 computer. The real issue would be is if we find out that they're accessing information, personnel information, private information, like if they are going on to our service. So that would be something that I would take more serious, but as far as the computer that appears to have been bought maybe in 2020, they shouldn't have it. They should return it. If there's any board members, any staff that are listening that maybe find that they have a computer that they didn't even know that they had sitting at home that was the township's, it would be good to get it back. But they have the IP address of the Comcast but do we really wanna go through search warrants and stuff, right? It's not the amount of the computer, it's just that they should not be going on and accessing. I can't say that they are.
Well, I would ask the solicitor, wouldn't that be a police matter, not up to the board? Wouldn't it be a police?
She said she always talked to the police.
I talked
about it.
And that would be up to them to investigate that.
But they, I guess, I'm not computer whiz, they can only investigate so far, I mean, I'm not, so it's been turned over.
Can I make a comment about the computers? The laptop that I was issued, it's my understanding that the other laptops, we could not access anything in this township.
So you were issued a laptop?
Yeah,
Do you happen to still have it?
do I what?
Do you happen to still have it?
No, it's returned, and I have a receipt that I returned it, but all the,
I'm not talking about the tablets, though. I'm talking about a literal computer.
oh, I'm talking about the tablet.
Okay, yeah, there is a receipt for your tablet. I'm saying there's literally a laptop missing.
Oh, I misunderstood you. I
No,
thought
no
that's what
problem,
I
I
had.
understand, but yeah, your tablet was returned and there is a receipt.
All right, thank you.
Okay, what's next?
Michelle,
I,
wait, I want a clarification on this. We all know for a specific reason or reasons. One, we know that there's a laptop missing. Two, if I'm accurate in what I'm saying, there's hacking currently going on, they're getting online.
That part we don't know. We know there's a laptop missing, Advent monitors it. It has been connected to the internet, but we cannot say whether or not they're going on.
All
They
right.
could be just Googling, they could be watching
All right, they
YouTube for all we
can
know.
be
It's
using
getting
it for-
powered on,
For personal purposes.
or possibly into the, whatever files would be on it, that would be the township. But you can't say that it is.
Okay, whatever files is on that computer itself.
It should be returned.
It is, absolutely, but, that's why I'm reaching out. I'm going to go back and see if I can find some of the ex-employees' phone numbers and maybe reach out to, but at some point, it's, you don't wanna spend thousands of dollars on an attorney for a obsolete computer that's a couple $100. As
Isn't there
long
a
as
way
they,
they can turn it off? Deny
we kept
access?
it on the monitored system for Advent so that we can try to see what we did change all of the passwords to all old accounts, all current accounts. So, but that's where we're at. It's whether or not the juice is worth the squeeze. If we could get it back, that would be great. If we can't get it back, can't spend thousands trying to get back hundreds.
Would they have
As long as they can.
access to the IP addresses?
So,
could they have access to the IP address?
Did they discuss?
no, they can get it to what Comcast area it's in, but after that, it would take search warrants and. So
Alright, so-
Advent is checking to see where they're going on it, if it's being used for, and now, again, like I said, all passwords have been changed. All passwords were changed for former board members and stuff. I just didn't even know there was a L Roach password out there.
So for the record, this is not a tablet, this is for a laptop.
This is for actual computer.
Michelle, was there indications that they were,
It's powered on, it's been powered on, it was powered on at 10:30 yesterday morning, I don't know, but I can't say if it's accessing.
was there any indication that they were navigating the IP addresses of this township?
No, there's no, we can't tell that from here, we can just tell that it was turned on and accessed. But it is township property, so, if any of the former board members or staff that hear me, if you happen to see it at home and you forgot you had it, bring it back. We'll go further from there if Advent comes back and says that they're going on to township files.
I have a thing, there's a gentleman up here on Philadelphia Raymond Road, and then some people over on Brownsville Road Extension talking about the Jake brakes, these trucks with the Jake brakes, and the one house up here, his pictures are shaking off the wall. I talked to Chief Harris, he contacted PennDOT, and what they said is they would let us, after we would tell them if we wanted to put a couple signs up, they said they would have to send us a letter we'd have to tell them where we'd like to put them, and then they would see if they would approve it. Once they approve it, then we could get the signs and put them up for no Jake break.
Yeah, that was part of my conversation when I talked to him about
Yeah,
that
about the
thing. And he said the only difference would be I don't know, there's something with the word Jake brake, that's a trademark, so it would
Right.
say whatever technical name for Jake
Brake
brakes are.
retarders is what.
That's it, brake retarders.
But anyhow, I told him about Brownsville Road Extension and then on the Philadelphia Raymond Road. And, so he said if we would, give him a couple places on each road, then they would send it into PennDOT. He has to send a letter into PennDOT for them to approve it. Once they approve it, then they could be installed.
The chief said to, he was gonna be, if it was okay with us, which I'm sure, but he was going to be reaching out to, Albert. He'd like to start moving those flashing speed limit signs around. Wants to start with Patterson. He says Patterson's bad. He said he doesn't get any complaints on Patterson, but it's a cut through, always been a cut through. And he said that's, in his opinion, one of the worst offending roads. He said even though the people don't really complain, he said that road's bad.
Well,
So
at
he'd like
one
to start with
time-
one of them there.
At one time, there was 3 one-lane bridges on that
Gonna leave it,
road.
yeah, he's gonna leave it there for a month, try to get a good accurate of when people are, maybe, the worst offenders are happening so that they can keep a better eye at certain times. So we're gonna start moving the speed limit.
But what I
flashing
was
things around
saying,
again.
Michelle, at one time, there was 3 one-lane bridges on that road at the time. And we met with the Turnpike Commission when they came through at 43 and we got it widened and all the
Now,
catch basin put in
Beautiful
way
for
back
fast
then.
driving.
So now everybody
Now it's
could go faster.
Beautiful for fast driving.
Right.
Okay.